Welcome to Savage Rants. I'm Nick Savage. Earlier this month, respected journalist and Canada's most handsome man, Peter Mansbridge, interviewed each of the party leaders vying for Prime Minister in next month's election. But before we discuss what was said, let's talk about where it was said.
Each candidate spoke to Monsieur Mansbridge at a different locale. Trudeau in a large, beautiful Montreal park I assume only the Trudeaus have access to. Stephen Harper in a farmer's field adjacent to Highway 401. Thomas Mulcair on the set of a Ducks Unlimited commercial sitting in the same dock chair everyone else bought from Canadian Tire. And Elizabeth May on a stool?
Really? The other guys get to sit in chairs, but the one female has to rock the stool? Or is the idea that when Canadians are willing to back her party, the CBC will back her chair? Anyway, let's begin with the big guy. Old helmet hair, the grey gargoyle, Stephen J. Harper. Mansbridge asked Harper, early in the interview, what he thought of the fact that, according to polls, 70% of Canadians want change in Ottawa. Well, here's how Mr. Harper responded.
Look, there's a lot of polls out there. There's a lot of inaccurate polls. I think in the end, people don't make their decision based on polls. They make their decisions based on their assessments of the future, their own lives.
I know you've been PM for like a decade, but you do understand how polling works, right? Yes, people vote based on their socioeconomic status, their views of the future, etc. But then these guys called pollsters take those individual hopes and desires and put them into aggregate measures or polls of what a whole group of people want. You see, what we have here is a kind of a chicken and the egg problem, one that the Prime Minister at this point probably shouldn't have. But moving on. Apparently, Peter the Mansbridge does not have much faith in economists, a group to which Mr. Economic Action Plan, of course, belongs. In a sort of gotcha moment, Mansbridge quotes Harper in his own words from just before the 2008 global market crash.
Here's what you said, September 15th, 08. My own belief is if we were going to have any big crash or recession, we probably would have had it by now. Right. Now, within a month, 2 months, we had the big crash, we were definitely in one of the worst recessions of modern times. But why, given your track record on analysis, and you're not alone as an economist, we all know the stories about economists.
Oh, Peter, we at Savage Rants know all about economists. Many are modern-day witch doctors, fortune tellers, astrologists, rather than astronomers. Still, I didn't think you could make a joke like that on the National. Mansbridge, however, will not be denied.
However, the R word is still attached to the Canadian economy at the moment in terms of the big picture.
Actually, I think the truth is there's a real debate around economists among that. I mean, we have had job...
Gosh, what a surprise, a debate among economists.
No, but we've had job creation.
Oh, snap. It's one thing to make fun of an economist about their pseudoscience. It's entirely another to make fun of a Prime Minister's chosen profession to his face on national television. Good on you, Mansbridge. Nice. Justin Trudeau, of all the four interviewees, was the most engaging, as he was clearly prepared with good policy answers and brought quite a bit of charm with him to the interview. In fact, of all four candidates, he had the best answer to any question, just for sheer ballsiness.
Well, one of the things that we've seen throughout the past decades in government is the trend towards more control from the Prime Minister's office actually can be traced as far back as my father, who kicked it off in the first place. And I think we've reached the end point.
Are you suggesting that it was your father who started sort of tighter control with the PMO?
I think that's generally understood that he started it.
Yeah, I know it is generally understood, but it's not generally assumed that you would say that as well.
Oh yeah, no, I recognize that. And I think I actually quite like the symmetry of me being the one who ended that.
Honestly, that answer was awesome. It's just too bad he also said stuff like this.
Well, that's your message, but those kind of things take time. Those don't happen right away. What's the immediate change they would say?
A government that's focused on Canadians, a government that's answering questions, a government that's talking about the things that matter to Canadians and actually acting on them. A government that's open to discussion and debate.
A government that meets in Parliament to discuss legislation. A government that takes in revenue through taxation. A government whose members have good hygiene. A government with a 100%... Oh, forget it. This is stupid. One more from Trudeau.
What is it about Justin Trudeau that makes you the person that should lead Canada?
If you want to find out if someone's ready for this job, ask them what they want to do with this job.
Oh, that's the stuff. Turning now to NDP leader Thomas Mulcair, it appears that Beardface has taken some lessons from his enemies, the Conservatives. For years, the Conservatives have been adding the completely unnecessary qualifier action to the word plan.
Canada's economy is leading the way and growing stronger thanks to Canada's Economic Action Plan.
Mulcair, not to be outdone, has picked his own unnecessary qualifier for the word plan.
We've got a clear plan, long term, put in place a clear plan for economic growth, a clear plan to help the middle class, a clear plan to clean up the environment.
Some argue that they cannot tell the difference. What's the difference between what you're offering and what Mr. Trudeau's offering?
A clear plan.
So we've gone from Harper's action plans to Mulcair's clear plans. Except neither term really means anything. Here's an example. I have a glass of clear liquid. Drink it. What do you mean you don't know what's in it? It's a clear liquid. It has to be good. Drink it. It's clear. As with liquids, so with plans. Just because the plan is clear doesn't mean it's a good plan. Remember, kids, even urine can be clear. I'm Nick Savage for Savage Rants. Thank you for watching.